In this age of digital explosion, it becomes pertinent that organizations transform faster to the changing scenario. In this new normal of today, the task becomes much more challenging. So it becomes eminent that industry leaders discuss and deliberate the different aspects of digital transformation. The Economic Times presented CXO series powered by Tata Communications to bring together IT and digital leaders to discuss.
There's a huge change in terms of adoption. It has been forced by a situation which was not in our hands.
In the first session, leaders got together to talk about the environment that enables the digital customer experience journey and how it has become important with changing times.
I think it's all in front of all of us that the pandemic has really shifted the customer expectation paradigm, the consumer behavior, which we have seen over the last 12 to 14 months. In our view, many of these changes will now be part of the new normal, and the consumer behavior, the way we interact with the consumer, the way they have been demanding the expectation from us, from our businesses, are here to stay. Companies hence need to be prepared with innovations and changes, be much more agile and nimble, to be more customer-centric, to ensure that they serve their customer much better than what they were doing before. The way I would like to construct today's session with this eminent panel to make the best use of their time is to understand where are we today, what is consumer behavior talking about, how brands are shifting, how brands are looking at them differently, and the technology play to ensure that what we talk is what we deliver.
The change in terms of technology is not the CTO or the CEO, but it is actually Corona, which has brought the whole change, whether it is inside the organization or outside the organization. Consumers who were kind of a little shy of adopting digital, they have no choice because they can't go out to the shops and provision stores and the hypermarkets. So they are forced to kind of download an app and order grocery or whatever they want from that point of view. And even from organizations, let's say my own organization ITC, which has been a legacy organization. We are a 100-year-old company. So in terms of our role, we usually have never believed in working from home before the COVID hit, and then suddenly within weeks we had to all kind of restructure the whole IT ecosystem, and everybody's also the way of working. We are very used to huddling together, coming together, and brainstorming ideas and stuff like that. But then now everybody is very, very used to being on whether it is Google Meets or team meetings or whatever apps you're using, Zoom calls, etc. So there's a huge change in terms of adoption. It has been forced by a situation which was not in our hands.
We came up with an app that we call the Order Me. So through that app, we start doing a doorstep delivery to the customer with all the products of the company, right? So whatever we produce, in terms of that, that is related to the food, non-food. Non-food, I mean to say that cosmetics, and third is our Ayurvedic product that we call the Divya Pharmacy. So, and if you talk about the buying pattern, I have seen a huge change in buying pattern. You are putting an order today. Are we able to deliver that order by tomorrow or day after tomorrow? Before, this is the requirement of the customer, or before the customer thinks, yes, I will get my order in time. So for that, we had a tie-up with the very, very large companies also for the logistics domain. Okay. So definitely there is a huge drift in the customer demand, in the buying pattern, and the way the customer is buying, and definitely the way the companies also start selling.
These mortgage lending players, they have been taking more of a classical or traditional route when it comes to digital initiatives. So this industry largely runs on mutual face-to-face, in-branch interactions, whether we talk about loan origination or customer acquisition, or even for post-loan services. We have been a leading player when it comes to going digital. At Bajaj Housing Finance Limited, the focus is on maximizing digital outreach to a customer. A loan journey can be started online, where the customer can check eligibility and even can get a sanction letter. It can be obtained online. No need to visit the branch for this piece of work. For our sales staff, they can file a case online using mobile app without having to come to office. So this is so convenient, and it helped us a lot during this pandemic. The branches were closed, but the cases can be logged through the mobile app.
We have developed a full digital bank called YONO, which we have launched on 24th November 2017, and it has been a couple of years now. It has quite a success itself. And at the same time, I've heard fellow colleagues talking about the way the customer behavior have changed in this pandemic itself. And considering that the of transaction which would be happening on a banking, whether they have increased or whether they have decreased. So certainly there is a multiplying factor increase what we have seen, and that is due to because everybody is doing a kind of online purchase itself, one way or another, either through a wallet or either through a kind of debit card or online purchase itself.
Where a lot of our clients who we help to enable digital models have really discovered that as opposed to being a quote unquote digital channel or one way to do business, they've really come to appreciate that the whole digital customer experience is not just a channel or a reflection of the brand, but very often is the brand itself. And that becomes more true the more service oriented the service that you're providing is. I mean, of course, if there's a product that needs to be delivered, that's part of the experience and part of the brand experience, but the whole ordering, the delivery, any potential customer service or returns or billing issues, all of those sorts of things, that they're all being executed, as the other panelists have said, via a digital channel now, and that may be the primary, if not the only way your customer interacts with you. Showrooms are closed. How do you do demos? How do you speak to them? The guy they had a relationship with may not be available, right? And this creates a lot of different challenges, but it creates huge opportunity as well.
This is a trend, and the challenge, starts from the word get go, and in the present COVID-19 scenario, it's become even more challenging.
In this session, IT and digital leaders deliberated on managing hyperconnected system. Digital ecosystem is the foundation of digital business.
If you look at Tata Communications, as you rightly said, we're both, a practitioner of, the digital, ecosystem that you're, talking about. We put that to use for our own purpose, and we facilitate that, build that for our customers. So one of the things that I'm mandated to sort of achieve for the company is a fully digitized, transformed set of processes for all of the work that we do with our customers, beginning from a customer lead being generated to the customer being eventually serviced, through the life cycle of the engagement. So this was an ambitious program that we started 3 years ago in the execution mode. 5 years ago from a planning and a strategic, thinking mode. And in the last 3 years of execution, we've learned quite a bit, as a company. We've learned that it's absolutely critical for you to sort of have digital dexterity built into your, organization. You need to have systems and processes completely, thought all over again with, a blue sky approach. You need to have the right kind of technology and skills and the platforms that, you need to sort of work with, which is basically the technology construct that will give you a high quality digital ecosystem. And of course, the ability to tell our customers that, we are highly transparent, highly agile in our way of doing things, and being able to give them, a return, on the digital work that we've done in terms of shorter life cycle.
We are on hyperconnected world, and everywhere we talk about speed, agility. So as far as our journey started, it has started somewhere around in '97, and from that time to till now, if we'll talk about we are one of the premier organization, online classified organization, who are still able to maintain this, provide a value to the customer, and we are still doing good. I mean, we are still always look for space like where we could able to add value, and these digital ecosystem has actually pushed us to start connecting all the offline modes, bring it online, so that like wherever possible, we can digitalize it. And that's where like this digital transformation started picking in, where we say like, okay, connect your business processes, business models, domains, cultural or organizational connect, everything you can connect now. And that's where like our journey started, and today we are here.
When we were working with Hotstar, so came work with Star Group to develop the Hotstar app. So I was wondering whether we'll be successful in that. I was very happy to see around 800,000 people who are glued to that yesterday while watching cricket. I was watching it on Hotstar, and I saw a lot of people watching it with me. So which also means that there are different modes. Whatever you enable digitally will be consumed. For us, cloud has played a big role in the success of business continuity of Accenture and our customers as well. It has made us very nimble and also flexible. We could respond at a speed which was not possible before. So we never thought we'll be able to enable so many people to work from home so quickly. We were completely on cloud. All 95% of Accenture's applications are on cloud, which makes it very easy for us to operate remotely.
The more data that we collect, the more compelling is the need for us to provide differentiated experience to our customers, partners, and employees. This is a trend, and the challenge, starts from the word get-go, and in the present COVID-19 scenario, it's become even more challenging.
The only challenges were maybe like at that particular time, the compute was not enough or easily affordable, so that we could able to utilize those things. And slowly we are at the era like where we are improving on the performance. We are trying to put much more processing power within a smaller chip, and which is now we are taking or ripping the fruits out of it.
Learned a lot through this period. For me personally and also professionally, has been a transformational experience. I have learned a lot through implementations which we thought would take 3 to 5 years. We had to do it in 3 to 5 months. So which has helped us realize the potential of what we can do and what my team can deliver. And now we are saying, okay, something need not be planned for 3 to 5 years. We can do quick testing, fail fast, and implement something new that can work for all. And a lot of mindsets which we had about how IT, how people should work, and where people should work, all those are broken now. So we are able to deliver services from wherever we are, and that is making us think differently. Now I was wondering, so I have more than 300,000 employees operating from various towns, cities across India, Philippines, China. So I have to think of how do I deliver services to their home. It's not just about connectivity. When they have hardware issues, like if their laptops break, what is the solution? So I have to arrange for an OEM to deliver services at this place wherever they are. So it is now becoming our next set of deliverables.
This session focused on sustaining the pace of digital transformation.
Digital has been at the top of this entire hype curve for a while now, right? It's not just recent. And while there are many proven cases of enterprises, successful enterprise-wide digital transformation, till around a couple of years back, unfortunately, some of these initiatives were also being done in isolation. As pilots, that entire chicken and egg thing. We'll put money if it can demonstrate value, need money to demonstrate value. So that entire conundrum. And sometimes even just by FOMO, everyone else is doing it, we need to do something, etc., etc. And of course, like I said, a great many organizations took a very pragmatic, planned and thought out approach and have been reaping the benefits. But I think while whichever way you look at it, the pandemic has been bad for all of us. I think one of the few silver linings, one obviously has been that Mother Earth got a moment to take a breath, right? And the second, I think one of the silver linings has been that over the last 18 odd months, we've seen a frantic race among organizations to scale up their digital transformation efforts. There has been an acceleration in digital adoption across enterprises in India. However, there are also conversations around maturing your digital first strategies to digital smart, right? Because the whole conversation about being digital first, now we're saying, how do you become smart about that? How do you really define this maturity, and how do you see this curve being played out by organizations at different stages of their journey and at different levels?
Now, digital smart is really about the ability to create a connected ecosystem, internally and externally, offering consistent experiences across the enterprise value chain, and most importantly, I think build trust, again, with both internal and external stakeholders. And each one of these will be an outcome of how integrated your digital environment is, including the hybrid multi-cloud estate, the network estate, the workforce collaboration platforms, and the overall layer of security that cuts across the enterprise architecture. Now, the path of digital adoption is going to be very unique for every organization. And as per a recent survey, which we, Tata Communications, did globally, we categorize companies into 3 buckets on their maturity level on the pace of digital transformation. Firstly, we have the aspirants who are kind of still shifting gears to a digital-first environment, but the approach is still in silos transformation, like I outlined earlier, and many times converting disparate offline processes to online independently, which may often lead to kind of broken overall customer journeys that impair their overall transformation pace. Then we have the migrators who have started the journey in the right earnest on time and have made good progress. They do have a defined vision of a connected digital ecosystem encompassing their operating models, their processes, customers, partners, and employees. However, I think they need to take a leap of faith and accelerate this integrated journey that will then start finally impacting their key business drivers. Then comes the leading pack, who we call the Trailblazers. These organizations have actually made digital mainstream, pioneered with digital operating models, and set up digital platforms to influence businesses directly, either through market expansion or product innovations, finally leading to revenue growth.
6-7 years back, when the airline came into existence, so the right decision which was taken at that time was that if you have to start from scratch, why don't we look at the emerging technologies at that time? And the decision was taken to go on the cloud, and that really helped us during the pandemic. So we had all the good things which come along with the cloud architecture, in terms of availability, in terms of right use, in terms of managing demand supply, in terms of active sites. So all that features, I think, really helped us. And when the pandemic came, there were requirements coming not only from the pandemic, because the hygiene and safety factors were changing, but also from the regulatory bodies. And we were really given very short notice to implement those changes. So how do we get these things quickly incorporated without, I would say, impacting the customer experience? And what is the right cost and value equation? Because at the end of the day, pandemic, you need to really be very careful on how are you leveraging, sweating your assets, and not compromising on the brand, not compromising on the customer experience, not compromising on the expectations. And how do we leverage our architecture and best of the technologies which are available? I think I would say that from resiliency point of view and adaptability point of view, I think we have really tested this, and it has really done well.
I think for us, we started our journey quite some time ago. But what has happened in the last probably 18 months, it has like in many companies, for us also, it has the COVID has actually accelerated this. Like we have found out new ways of working. Right from everybody working from home. That's becoming almost a new normal now. Now we are also thinking of how do we actually go back to a kind of a hybrid kind of an environment where some people will work from home and some people will work from office and vice versa. Like today, for example, I'm sitting in office and working from office today, right? But while my colleagues are working from home, right? So that will be the new normal, right? All of us are aware of that. But I think the key point is apart from this work from anywhere, which will be the new norm of the day. I think there are many things, right? I would say in digital, the key thing is basically how do you actually use digital technologies, right, to enhance your customer experience? How do you use digital technologies to drive your business performance better by optimizing your cost, and and help the business to grow their revenue faster? I think, and how do you actually use digital technologies to enhance employee experience?
Financial services, obviously, and particularly stock market, has been a very different industry. The whole retail investments and the larger investments industry, right? It has always transformed slightly later before the transformed and the cab transformed and the food delivery transformed. So, but now obviously financial evolution, the whole fintech word has been used quite a lot. I think one of the big reasons in finance revolution started a couple of years late is because of security and people's personal money being used there. And therefore, there was a lot of focus on everybody being very careful about anything going digital from the customer end. Okay? One of the things that I have seen in the last 6-7 years is that when huge transformation was happening across the industries, the transformation in financial services was slower. As we become more small volume centric, the sachet based approach of retailing coming significantly more in the financial investment space. That is one of the biggest changes I think I'll see from a customer angle. I think technology angle we have discussed enough. From a customer angle, I think making investments of 10 rupees or 100 rupees will start happening. That whole experimentation will start happening a lot more, because all of that will become more streamlined. So that is a big change I will see, I think. And there are two big things I think I could point out in the little time we have.